Time to put a brake pedal in. This is my treasure from the junkyard. I took about a minute, sanded it, scuffed it up real quick. Another minute to paint it. If only is that. If only it was that easy. I pulled it out. Silly me. Gotta poke holes through my firewall. So what I'm going to do is take a piece of cardboard, and this will give me a pattern for my holes. Just going to poke a hole in here, poke them through, and I'll take this off, and then I will put this on my firewall, and then I'll take a marker, draw where these go, and then poke holes through it, and hope I'm close. Rest day. Here's my little template I made. What I did was I measured from here down, from the center of this hole down to the top of this, so that when I put this on the back of here, it fit perfectly flush with that. So then I took this measurement, measured it, and then I took it and went from this brace up here, and then I went straight from there across, measured down, marked it. There's a mark right there, and this brace here, I made a mark on the cardboard to show where it was. Made a mark right here, and then what I did was I took this line that I measured down from, I put it right to the top of the cardboard, and then this mark in the corner where that brace is, so it lines up with that. And once I put that where it belonged, and then I just took my marker and made marks, and that gave me 4 little spots here. So that's where I'm going to drill some holes. Thanks for believing in me, Rusty. Now let's go drill some holes. I have to elongate my holes a little bit because I'm about 1/8 of an inch off from the bolts going up into the bracket up there. See that? That's my wife's leg. She's out here. She's like, will whatever you're gonna put there fit? And I'm like, it should. What are you putting there? I'm putting this here. It's a brake booster. It's a 90-degree job with a brake pedal on it. At one time, I bought the wrong one, and this was gonna go underneath my dash. But then I'm like, this would be way the heck up here. How am I gonna check the fluid? But I was just young, dumb, and ugly, don't know what I'm doing. So what I'm gonna do is take this arm off and put it on my brake pedal. Everything measures out. But then the width of this, she's like, will it fit? So I measured it. That's 6 inches. 6 inches will go from here to here. She's like, what about your valve cover? And so it's going to be super tight, and then it'll come out 4 inches. So, and then the cylinder. But these are temporary valve covers. I got Mopar valve covers, but they're square. This has got a notch for everything, so it'll be super tight. If this, maybe I'll just run these valve covers instead of my nice fancy ones. We'll see. And if not, then maybe. And this brake cylinder is different than a 4-post one. This only has 2. So I don't even know if it's all gonna fit or not. She's all laughing. She's like, go away. I was doing fine.
Better than a meltdown later.
So to remedy my issue, because the brake pedal has 4 bolts that stick out of here, and my master cylinder at my power booster has 4 that go back in, and these are permanent. I can't pull them out. So what I was thinking I could do, I need a metal plate as a reinforcement plate in this metal anyway. So what I was gonna do is cut this one off and use this plate here. And then this pattern is a lot bigger than my pattern as far as where the bolts go. And so what I was going to do is put one there. I was going to take the studs out of the brake pedal that come this way and do the power booster, the bigger one. Well, they'll use 2 holes, so I'll have to poke 2 more holes in here, put the metal on the back side of the car, put the power booster through with those, and then they'll go through, these bolts will go through the brake pedal, and I could still use this little power booster and this master cylinder. Then I don't have to go buy any more because I'm doing all this on a budget, and it should work, because then I'll have the steel reinforcement plate on the back side with the bolts going through the back of my brake pedal to hold it, and then I don't have the steel plate on the outside here, and it should work. However, I'll just have to run these valve covers, I guess. Go from there. What I wanted to do is buy some Willwood brake pedals that you can mount them on the floor right here, and then they have the master cylinder. You flip it over so it's right side up, and then you can mount everything right here, and your brake pedal, it comes back into it, and then your master cylinder is off to the side, and then all you do is poke a little hole down here for your brake lines to go through, and then you just change your fluid, check your fluid levels right here along with your brake pedals. So instead of them hanging down, they're from the floor coming up, doing their thing. But I don't have the money for those because they're several $100s. So anyway, maybe in the future, who knows. But I'm okay with having, I ruined my nice smooth firewall. Now I got stuff poking out of it and whatever, but I'm cool with that. It's all good. And now let's cut this up. That's better. Okay, I put the plate on. What I'll do now is install it underneath, and then draw a circle around the hole there into the firewall, take it out, cut it out, reinstall it, and then install everything, and it'll be good to go. Right, Goldie? Rusty. Next day. Just laying in my car thinking I can't use this anymore because it's too big to go through there. Okay, so I can just use this one that's already in there. This plate goes right there. I took the pedal out, obviously, sticking it on the back here, and it goes on, actually, because of these half holes in the middle. And so what I was thinking I could do, if I put it down low, it'll go on there. That'll put this on, lift this up as high as I can so I have more clearance outside in my firewall with my valve covers. But these studs, I'll just put the bolts back on them and take a hammer and drive them back, push them through. And I was thinking, well, I could just weld a bead across here to weld that to this. But then I thought, well, if I ever want to use this in the future for whatever else, once I pop these out, I can just swap the studs around and put the bolts on this side and just bolt it right to it. Then I can just throw this up there, drill my holes, and just install it. And then I can swap these, reverse them in the future, reuse this, whatever. And then I still have a backing plate that functions, and that'll center things for the most part. This arm is a little low where this is now, where it lines up. If you can see that, the hole is right there. but when you eyeball it and level it, it's a little low in the hole here instead of being centered. But this has some play in it, so I think that if I just put it in the down position, it would kind of be at the bottom of this hole, but it should still plunge it. I think we'll give that a try, so we'll see. That's my plan. Let's see how that works. If everything was easy, everyone would be doing it. These are not pressed in, they're spot welded in. There's 3 spot welds on the inside of each one of these. So I'm just taking a hammer and beating the snot out of it, trying to get them broke loose, taking a chisel, trying to get it knocked in there. All that fun stuff, and then I'll straighten these back out when I'm done. But that will allow me to attach this to the plate at least. Well, that was fun. A little bit of carnage, but I think it's worth it. Nothing I can't straighten out. It's a crude hole, but hey, at least it looks like a pin star. You know your Mopar to the core when you do stuff like this. Go. Love it. Come on. Now that I have all my holes drilled everywhere they need to be, I'm going to take these 2 bolts out. Yesterday was the 29th, and I got my brake lines ran that I got from the car from the junkyard. And so I got the proportioning valve. I got fittings. I had to run all over the place looking for those. Plugs on this side. And then I spent all day messing around with the stupid flare kit so I can flare my lines out, and it would not work whatsoever. So I got to figure that out so I can make these lines. I got these ran, the one all the way back. I'd run this, and then I'll run my gas line, which was $100 for 3/8, 18 feet of it. From trunk to ridiculous. That stuff there, $98. It's July 30th now. I'm gonna run my gas line, my battery line, just get those ran while I'm doing lines, and go from there. Hey buddy. Girl, I love you, honey. That was easy. Thanks for watching.